I wanted to record a clean run of a paladin soloing Strat Pally. A couple of things are required for this. You need to have block around 20%. You need to have vampirism around 10%. It definitely gets easier as you exceed those numbers. You're going to want a repair bot or a mailbox, and you're going to need engineering so you can have the force reactive disc. The shield does like to break on you. I actually run two, and I wrote an add-on to allow it to auto-swap when it gets low, and if both of them end up breaking, it'll swap to my Skull Flame, which still usually ends up getting me killed because it doesn't do enough damage to heal you, but at least it gives you a chance to try to get your vendor open. That said, you should always have your vendor out ahead of time. It's still hard as hell to get it clicked on in the crowd because it's chaos. So looking at the gear, I'm using a Dreams Herald for the proc. I've got the Fiery Blaze enchant on it that Alliance can get out of Badlands. I don't think Horde can get it, but, you know, Horde can't be Paladin, so it doesn't matter. Like I said, I've got two Force Reactive discs. I've got a handful of different Librams that equip based off of what I'm using. I've got your basic Vampirism gear, the Rune of the Dawn, so I get the tokens. But I'm sitting here at 16% Vampirism, 19.5% block. It's a mix of gear from all over the place. I've got some T3 in there, some Tier 2.5, some greens. You know, get the job done, right? So I'm showing this all the way from the start because the videos I've seen don't. So I'm going to go ahead and put this all together. And I also do more of the instance than a lot of people do. That I've seen. I always like to start this topped off. I like to make sure that I've vendored everything that I can and that my shields are both repaired. So you've got the one that I've got equipped at 120 and the one in my inventory at 120. And then the Skull Flame, if it needs to fall back to it, it's at full repair too. So right here, we drop down into this corner and we use some dynamite to piss off the far pack. The key here is that you want to throw it and immediately start running towards that corner of the gate. On your way there, if you get slowed, you pop Hand of Freedom. As I round the corner into the big crowd, I pop a Swiftness Potion, and then if I get below about 3/4 health, I pop Divine Shield to finish the initial pull. Dynamite does not require you to watch the animation. I like to target this big fat guy because he's handy. I run up here. About here's where I'm going to pop my Divine Shield. This is where I'll get Blessing of Light up, and I'll drop a Consecrate to sort of heal me as things run through it a little bit. I like to swing over here, and I don't go in there for Unforgiven because he is a huge pain in the ass. And then here I've got Judgment of Wisdom and Blessing, or Seal of Light up. So the other thing, I use the talent build that's got the 50% chance to get a free attack when you block, which means even though the Patchwork here has got a shitload of hit points, I beat him to death really quickly. The Green Herald does a lot of procs, the Shield does a lot of procs. It gets him down quickly. So there's our first pull, a little bit of chaos there, but nice and clean, right? I do always kill him if he's up. Another one that you can find in here in a sort of places is the NPC Skull. He also drops blues and is easy to solo. The nice thing about this is if you have the weekly quest, you can go ahead and pick up the tokens for it. Go ahead and sell off the junk. Pretty much anything you're not going to try to auction house, I try to keep it out of my inventory. If it's illusion dust, I vendor it instead of disenchanting it because it's worth more that way. See, we're already up on our gold a little bit here. Now this pull, I try to go over to here. This is a trap, so you don't go into there. I try to get as much of that as possible and get back down here to the live side entrance. It really depends on what hits me and what the timing of things is. There is another one of the big tubby fuckers in there somewhere. Good thing I'm not planning on monetizing this, because I just said fuckers, and they demonetize you if you swear, I think.
Beware.
Important that you're facing the right direction when this wears off. And then as you back up here, you want to make sure that you can of freedom yourself if you can. And I like to make sure that I've got double seal of light up, seal of light and judgment light. That way I keep things going here pretty good. I also will switch to mana if I start getting low. So you'll notice here that we're getting a lot of spell casts on us, and those can beat you up pretty good. But once you get around this corner, you get your back to a corner, they all come in melee range, and then you start winning the fight. Start picking up more loot here. So because I got so much of this next pull here is sort of dangerous, so I'm going to go ahead and skip it for the purposes of this video. The funny thing about this method is the more you have to beat on, the likelier you are to survive. There is a density where if you have too much but not enough, you're going to end up dead. If you have things to beat on and things to beat back on you, then your shield can do enough damage that you're going to stay alive. Now we go ahead and run up this way. Oh, this is going to be bad. So you see what happened there is I failed to look at my cooldown on the Divine Shield. that's a problem. But we made it. I had to turn around early. I had to do a lot more moving backwards than I really wanted to. But I lived. That's the important part, right? I know that the plague bat gloves don't sell for shit, so I'm go ahead and dusting those too. But you'll see here we got two Greater Eternals, most of a stack of Dream Dust, a couple large Brilliants. We got 30 Minion Scourge Stones, 20 Invaders, and a Corruptors, along with like 20 gold just from selling things, and that doesn't count selling any of the things like the Sharpening Stones I'll get out of this, or the Enchants. So, and the Rune Cloth sells pretty well too. So, some runs are better than others, and in the end, it really is a
Beware.
profitable farm.